Hey, what's going on, guys? So I was actually just planning out some of my kind of like long-term trades, and I thought I would just make a video on it, kind of just like sharing my thought process, kind of just thinking out loud. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and if you learned something new, I hope that you can consider subscribing. I upload new videos every single day, and let's just go ahead and jump right to it. As the market's been very, very oversold, NASDAQ market since the very beginning of 2022, it's been pulling back. This has presented great opportunity for potentially new investors. I don't expect the market to recover anytime soon, but I've been making sure that when I work with my Learn Plan Profit group, we've at least dedicated time to prepare for a market recovery, because I think that's one of the worst things that you can do, right? It's market selling off, that's one thing, but not preparing for the recovery. It's when the market then does recover, if you don't know what stocks you're going to take action on, if you don't have a plan, if you have no intention or structure, especially some form of risk management, then you're just going to be left behind, right? Looking at the 2020 pandemic, when everything pulled on back, looking now back, it's like it was a huge opportunity, but yet it recovered so quickly that very few people were able to take advantage of it. And that's just what I'm trying to avoid, right? So one of the trades, I'm going to be breaking down a couple of my trades. This is when I'm fully invested. I actually was just running through some of the numbers. This is a goal. It's something to work towards. I know that it's never going to be or to work out like this perfectly, but the four positions that I plan to, partake in are Tesla, Amazon, Apple, and TQQQ. At the end of the day, one of the things that I always try to encourage our Learn Plan Profit members to do is to invest in the companies that they see the most value in. I share my experience. I share the why behind mine. I don't expect everyone to agree with me. Everyone tolerates risk at a different way. I think it's very level-headed to respect that about one another. So one of the things that I wanted to break down, I'm going to start off with TQQQ just because we have it here. So I already have an open position on TQQQ. Right now I have a little bit over 14,000 shares. Today I was up $40,000 on the day. Very grateful for it. I'm about 50% invested in my position. I plan to double my position. My intention is to be in with 30,000 shares. And I just kind of like broke down my plan. Right now, my average purchase price is $30.80. If you look at the overall lows of TQQQ, it hit lows of 26.69. And being very realistic, I'll get to that at the very end. Entry 30.80 as of right now. My desired exit, previous highs is around $91. Desired exit is going to be right around $80 a share. I set that to be a little bit more realistic based off of previous highs. I might hold a couple more shares, but I'm definitely not going to hold my entire position in hope that it does approach or surpass previous highs. So I set $80 as a more realistic, resistance. Again, I can expect that to happen in either a couple of months and or maybe a couple of years. There's no, I think the thing that is one of the worst things that you can do is set false expectations in thinking that, hey, this is going to happen in the next month or 2 months, right? That instant gratification. I know that the market's not like this. So the way that I'm trying to approach this is with proper intention and knowing that it can take months. The market can get worse before it gets better. I need to understand that. That's why I'm 50% invested right now. So whatever it is that you intend to, trade with or invest with, imagine cutting that in half and making that a rule that, hey, regardless of what happens, until the market begins to indicate signs of a recovery, I won't take more than a 50% position. That's the idea behind that. And then cutting losses if it breaks below 30. But again, that's when I'm more heavily invested. The risk to reward ratio on this obviously is very, very high. 61.5 out of all the other ones. This one definitely has the highest ROI just because, TQQQ is definitely considered of greater risk, high risk, high reward type of approach. I would not encourage this for any beginners. The one that's not triple leveraged is QQQ. So if you want to look into that, that's the NASDAQ ETF. It follows the NASDAQ market. There's an S&P 500 ETF. It's called SPY. Look into that. And there's also a Dow Jones ETF, and that is, I think, UDOW, if I'm not mistaken, UDOW. So you can feel free to look it up. But my overall intention is to be in with 30,000 shares. Right now I have 14,000, as you can see. So this would bring my potential profit at 1.4 million, and this would bring my overall dollar amount invested at right over 900,000. But as of right now, and I can make this adjustment, I have 14,330. So let's say that in a perfect world, or let's say that tomorrow, on Monday, the market opens and it's at $80, right? I have 14,330 shares as of right now, which means that my dollar amount invested, my average purchase price is 441,000. That means that I would make $705,000 profit. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is obviously, as I begin to buy more, my average purchase price, as in my average entry, is not going to be at $30.80, being realistic, right? So regardless of what this says, as I do intend to be in with 30,000 shares. But one of the things that I talked about in yesterday's video is how important it is to understand that there's no such thing as a perfect trader, right? Things go south, when you average up, it doesn't go exactly according to plan. When you exit, it doesn't go exactly according to plan. So instead of my average entry being $30.80, because we have so much margin to work with, I'm really not going to be stepping on the gas. Probably not until we break above $50 a share. So by the time that I start adding at $50 a share, I would see my average purchase price being more in the mid to higher 45, right? Right now I'm at 30. I would say a more realistic average purchase price once I begin to average up. I'll set it at 45 just to be a little bit more realistic. And even at that, 45 with my, let's say, desired exit is at $80 a share. This would put my potential profit at just over $1 million. So you can see that from 1.4, we go all the way back to 1 million. There's a discrepancy there of about 400,000. That comes with the territory of, as the stock begins to indicate signs of an uptrend, I'm going to choose to average up into that position. The way that I average up is not going to be perfect. I'm sure that I'm going to buy some at 40. I'm sure that I'm going to buy some at 37. I'm sure that I'm going to buy some at 55, right? I can buy some my biggest focus is I just want to continue to buy as long as the direction is in my favor. And that's really what I'm going to be paying attention to. The other one is Tesla. So Tesla, I just started taking a position on this one. It hit lows of 670. I view it to be very oversold. Again, same intentions. I don't expect to make money on this anytime soon. Things can definitely get worse before they get better. Again, I understand all of this. I'm okay with this. I am taking it into consideration with my current position size. So with that being said, I plan to be fully invested with 200 shares. That would be about $170,000 at an average purchase price of $8.50 a share. So I'm already in it, and right now it's at $7.69. And the great thing about this is that, again, my average purchase price, I set it to be at $8.50. So I have a lot of room for error. And I think that's one of the great things about this is that, I see how much margin I have to work with, and then I, make it very personal, right? I understand that I'm not perfect. And I know that the way that I'm going to average up and the way that things might go, my average purchase price might actually end up being higher, right? And I might, hope to sell at $1,200 a share, but hey, I might sell at $1,300. I might sell at $1,100. I might sell at any indication of a resistance, right? If it gets rejected again at $1,150, just like it did last time, my job's to lock in profits. This is simply a goal. This is something to work towards, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, being in with 170,000, I would potentially make $70,000 profit on Tesla with this setup. I would say pretty conservative average purchase price. It's almost $100 more than where it's at right now. So I said that I think of that to be pretty realistic. And then the exits, the only thing that overall highs or all-time highs is 12,400 or 1,243. And how long will it take for Tesla to get there? I know it's going to take time. Will it ever get back there? Again, this is why I talk about I'm definitely not afraid to lock in profits early. One of the other ones, Apple. This is one that I am yet to take a position in. Apple, very consistent overall uptrend pattern. Right now it's trading at 147. I set my realistic average purchase price to be 155. Apple, one of the most valuable companies that's publicly traded. I feel much more comfortable taking a heavier position size in Apple. I don't feel Apple to be as of a risky, trade or an investment decision. It's a company that even after it approaches previous highs, I set my exit to be at 175. I might even consider holding Apple. I see Apple to continue to grow and scale to, continue to lead the market in what it does, right? I think because of how much it's pulled back recently, it gave up its number one spot for the most valuable company that's publicly traded. But in my opinion, and again, it's just that, I think Apple is no question going to recover. And I just wanted to make sure that I take time, I plan out my trade. I set up a dollar amount that I'm okay with investing in Apple, right? 200,000. My potential profit on this is nothing crazy, right? It's $26,000. Some of you guys wouldn't do that because you're like, well, that's not worth it in comparison to, well, I can trade AMC and all. I agree, right? It's definitely not for everyone. And this is why I'm making this video. I want to remind you that like some people are willing to take greater forms of risk. Some people are a little bit more conservative. I think that's the beautiful thing about the stock market. It's that there's a space and spot for everyone. If you want to take a more conservative approach, just formulate a plan and make sure that it meets your criteria. Who cares what anyone else says? If they think that it's, well, it's not worth it, right? Or it's not enough profit for how much you're investing. It's like, okay, then don't do it, right? The beautiful thing about investing. Amazon is one of the only ones as of right now, if I'm not mistaken. Amazon is sitting at $2,200 a share, already beginning to show signs of a recovery based off previous patterns, $3,700. I personally wouldn't mind holding Amazon for quite some time. I just set a more realistic kind of like Tesla of $170,000 invested with 75 shares is my overall desired, max position. And then my average purchase price at $2,300. Again, Amazon being one of the market leaders in e-commerce. I'm very excited to follow up. I set up a conservative sell point of $3,300. And I would walk away with $75,000 profit after investing $172,000. And I think that's a nice chunk of change for investing in some of the most valuable companies that's publicly traded. And of course, it's super easy with, just typing in numbers and hoping that things go according to plan. But one thing that we always take into consideration is, when do we have to cut loss? And that's something that you have to follow up with and just make sure that you hold yourself accountable. This is why we talk about position size. This is why we talk about waiting for confirmation. Don't put yourself or don't buy more than you can tolerate. Don't just think about best case scenario. You need to think about worst case scenario. But I think that's why it's so important, right? To be able to surround yourself with people that remind you to stay level headed. We get asked this question all the time of like, do you need to join like our group, or do you need to be part of our group to learn how to invest or to learn how to trade? No, one of my most popular videos on YouTube is literally sharing how I learned how to trade. And I didn't learn how to trade from a course, right? I learned how to trade from trial and error. But think about it. How much money did I lose? How long did it take for me to learn how to trade? It probably would have been more cost effective and less time consuming if I would have learned through a course, right? And at the end of the day, you simply want to surround yourself with people that motivate you to be the best version of yourself. And if you can condense the time that it takes for you to learn what is already laid out in a structured format, and you can work with people that encourage you to be the best version for yourself. An example, preparing for the market to recover while everyone else is freaking out, setting proper expectations, not expecting the market to recover anytime soon, but if it does, you at least have a plan in place. And I think that's what's most important. It's you have a team that holds you accountable even when you don't originally or intentionally, intend to come up with, that trade plan. It's knowing what other people are doing that are well versed in this market and how that can put you in a better position. So again, if you guys ever have any questions about, wanting to get started, especially if you're an absolute beginner, I do have a free Discord group that has over 40,000 members, and it's the first link in the description. Also, if you're ready to join my team, I trade live every morning when the market's open. So you get to watch me buy, sell. I get to share my thought process. Any questions you have, I answered in real time. And I do this every day at market open only for my Learn Plan Profit group. So again, it's not that you need to join. It's asking yourself a simple question: would being part of our team be of value to you? And only you can answer that, right? So if you want to learn more about it to see if our group is a good fit for you and all that it includes, that's going to be that second link down below to learn a little bit more about our Learn Plan Profit group and to see if it's of value for you. I hope that I earned your thumbs up. I hope and wish you guys an amazing weekend. And of course, please consider subscribing. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.